of us can agree that 2020 is a year for the record books. And while we have adapted to natural disasters over the past couple of years, I don't think any of us could have imagined a dangerous virus could have turned our world upside down. I'm Ronnie Brown, Senior Vice President and Marketing Director at Summit State Bank. As an essential business, the bank has kept its doors open and abided by the healthcare practices for the protection and safety of our team, customers, and community.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Del Secco, Chief Operating Officer here at Summit State Bank. The past several months have definitely been challenging and have altered the way we have all managed our businesses.
It wasn't long before the management at Summit State Bank recognized the need to focus on well-being and self-care of our employees. I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit and listen for the next 20 minutes and learn how to take care of yourself. Thank you for spending your time with us, and I hope you stay well.
A lot of the time, I will just say, oh, I'm actually smiling. I know you can't see it, but it's really good to see you, and I'm smiling.
Social distancing has been, I think, challenging for everybody. You know, our new norm is having customers come in the branch with masks, which has definitely been a little bit challenging getting acclimated to.
We just smile with our eyes, which is so obvious. You can tell someone's smiling, and I go ahead with the motion anyway, even though I know they can't see it, but your eyes reflect it.
You're so used to looking at people's facial expressions, and reading facial expressions. So to cover half your face, it took a little bit of time to get used to. You watch the eyes, you watch the eyebrows, you watch the cheekbones, if they raise or if they stay the same. It's those kind of things now that we're looking for, and we're really focusing on people's face.
At the beginning of this pandemic, the executive team, being led by Brian Reed, started meeting on a daily basis. And here we are 3 months later, and we continue to still meet on a daily basis, ensuring that we are doing the right thing, that we are keeping everyone safe.
I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, Dr. Phillips, and helping educate our group here on some of the aspects of this disease.
I hope folks kind of leave the call, maybe having a little more sense of what's happening and in comfort in our ability to care for you and your family, should anything come up.
It's been a bit of a challenge, definitely a juggling act, but I'm used to that, just with my role as a mom, a branch manager, but now I'm a school teacher. So it's been definitely a struggle, and we've had to make an adjustment in the branch with how we deal with our customers. It's been a juggling act. I may not be perfect, but we're getting through it. I have a great team, great kids.
It's definitely challenging. Trying to manage time to be a teacher and a branch manager and a mom, all wrapped into one.
The struggle is real right now, but in the Ronan Park branch, we're very lucky to have John. He keeps it light and fun and enjoyable for us, so we're very blessed.
I think we all try to stay positive and, kind of joke around with each other and keep things light. I always buy little candies and we pass them out, like, you look like you need a candy today or something. So we're always just trying to stay, bubbly and positive.
Trying to do the good old smizing, through the mask and making sure they feel comfortable through everything.
Smizing?
Smizing, oh my goodness. So my mom actually reminded me of this. Growing up, we watched America's Next Top Model with Tyra Banks. So it's smiling with your eyes. So she's always like, Missy, you have a mask on, you forget to smile often, when you're focused, you don't remember to do that. So making sure we're showing our good old crow's feet and smiling through our mask is really important. And, just try to make people feel as comfortable as possible.
Show me your biggest smile behind that mask.
See them go out?
I do. And let's see your real smile, since we're 6 feet away.
I think this whole process has made us even more connected because we're all in it together. So we're all struggling in our own way. And so it's almost like we're more connected than before. We have great relationships with our customers, and we're constantly reaching out to them and checking in on them, and they too calling us to see how we're doing, especially with the whole SBA program and how crazy it's been. So they understand, and so they've all been great and just dealing with the chaos, I guess.
I'm Cindy McConnell. I'm the loan operations manager. And what my team has done is we basically have kept the loan department running, and we are considered essential. So my entire team has been on staff coming into the building every day since the pandemic began. And on top of the pandemic, on top of everything going on in our personal lives, we had the extra kind of complication of doing the PPP loans. We've roughly done 550 loans. We did a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and had it not been for the team and everybody being here every day and doing what they did, we would have never got through it.
It was a stress that I had not experienced before because of the impact that the PPP loans would have on our clients and how important that was.
They were just strategizing how to get the communication out and how to have a secure way of getting all these documents between us and our customers.
Box.com is what we used to set up clients' folders so that they could upload all of their information for the PPP loans. And one night when my husband came to wake me up and take my glasses off and take my book away, I grabbed onto the book and pointed to the cat who was sleeping between my legs and expressed to him that I need to get his box set up. And he thought I was talking about a litter box. And then when he tried to take the book away from me again without letting me set up the box, he said I had little tears in my eyes. And then he got the book, he got my glasses, and I went right back to sleep.
Well, the first thing that I had mentioned was that my true heroes were the moms that were working at home and dads and homeschooling plus doing their job, and I couldn't do it. And the other I mentioned was that I was very happy that I get along so well with my husband. Because if I didn't, I don't know if it would have lasted through this past 3 months. And lastly, that I'm just thankful that I got to come to work every day and not have to be stuck in the house.
I was proud to work for a bank that offered that much help to our community. I wasn't getting that same feedback from what people were experiencing at other banks. And so I was very happy to be the bank that was doing it and providing the service.
We've learned a lot through the 2 fires and the power outages, but the pandemic is a little bit different. And although we have tested the pandemic business continuity plan and trained on it, every couple of years we go through a tabletop exercise for the pandemic. Going through it, real life is a whole different ballgame.
The last 3 months have been quite interesting. We have been able to deploy 30% of our workforce to be able to work from home within a matter of 2 weeks. We didn't have enough laptops at first. They were on back order, so we actually pulled desktops and workstations and configured them to be able to have our employees work from home. I love creative banking, and you could just go and think on the fly and help your customer as best as you can and as fast as you can, because it was really critical for them. You felt their urgency for the funds, and so you wanted to make sure it was happening when it happened, and happened fast for them.
When I first started hearing about what was going on in China and realized that we hadn't done a pandemic training in a couple of years, and we were due for training, I had Linda Bone, our learning and training specialist, put together a all-staff training. And it was really interesting. She did an excellent job putting that together and brought some humor into it. But probably about a month ago now, I sat down and I was having a conversation with her, and she had no idea what she was preparing the team for and how serious this would be and how long this would be going on and how valuable that training was.
So during this, my daughter has been, doing Zoom calls with her class, and during the Zoom call, I thought that I had put it on mute. I had gone out to go work out in the garage, and my daughter came out needing something. So when she came out, I had dropped a weight on my foot, and out of my mouth came a word that I'm not very proud of. And the whole class, 24 students, including the teacher, heard me on that Zoom call because I was not on mute.
Well, I actually think back to like the very first day that we had to wear our masks. And from where I sit, I get a perfect view of everybody who's coming up the stairs or off the elevator. And so I'm just sitting there and I hear the door and I just glance over, and all of a sudden I do a double look because here's this thing, this man, and he had this mask on, this helmet on his face, and I just had to do a double look, like, who is this character? And then it dawned on me who it was, my boss.
Well, hello, I'm Linda Bone, and I am the Learning and Development Specialist here at Summit State Bank, and it is really my honor and my privilege to represent Summit State Bank today and welcome you to a conversation with some of our partners who are going to share their expertise on wellness and self-care. We've learned a lot over the past few months as essential workers. We've made many changes to ensure the health and well-being of our employees, our customers, and also our community. I know you'll benefit from what our partners have to say and have to share as you move forward in trying to navigate these stressful times.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Casey Garrett. I am the founder at Solstice Mind and Body Studio.
My name is Eric Sherwood, and I am the co-owner of Santa Rosa Therapeutic Bodyworks.
I'm an acupuncturist, and I own Thrive Acupuncture and Wellness in Santa Rosa.
So as experts in the field of self-care and wellness, what is your personal practice for wellness and self-care during this time?
None of us have ever been through this moment before, collectively, individually. So beginning with a lot of self-compassion and just being okay with where you are day to day.
So I really went back to the basics, and I said, what do I do to keep myself healthy on a normal basis? What do I do to keep myself healthy in cold and flu season?
Being that I work with people and their bodies, I tend to have a definitely more of like a body-focused self-care practice for myself. So I use a lot of foam rollers, balls, other kind of self-massage devices to work on my own body at home.
The foundation of my well-being is always Chinese herbs. And there's great herbs for virus prevention and treating a virus to stop it from getting out of control. And there's been a lot of information about what's worked for SARS-CoV virus historically and recently. And it turns out it's pretty much the same as all the protocols I had before. There's a few little tweaks.
A lot of our emotions are physically stored in the body and manifest themselves in physical dysfunction. And so finding that getting into those places of tension in my body, especially during this time, have brought up a lot of very deep emotional things, anxiety, shame, guilt. There's a lot of really incredible things that can be released by releasing the physical tension from those stored emotions.
Having a gratitude practice has helped me. This is a mindfulness practice we teach. It's one of my favorites to do in the morning, is to kind of apprentice yourself to gratitude and appreciation in your day-to-day life. There's so much negativity, so much hostility and fear. It's kind of like having a gratitude practice wipes the slate clean. each and every morning, so you can start your day afresh and with hope and uplift.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Rich information from your hearts. I appreciate that. So many of us, moving on to question 2, have had to assume these new roles that we're unfamiliar with, such as becoming teachers for our children while we're working, caregivers for our parents, working from home, and then so many unemployed. So share your suggestions for assisting with our newly assumed roles, and what recommendations do you have to help with children, teens, parents, and how do you care for yourself in these newly assumed roles?
I think it's funny, we were just talking about this. I think Sonoma County as a whole has kind of a leg up on the rest of the country in dealing with this. We've had so much in the last 2 years that has been out of our control. So I think we have developed a resiliency and an adaptability in the face of extreme adversity to say, okay, be present. This is what's happening right now, and very quickly shift gears and be able to manage our own feelings and to hold space and be there for the rest of the community.
You feel as though these new roles or the roles that you're trying to be a part of are like a burden. You know, they're very heavy. It feels overwhelming. But I find that in the moments where I'm very present, and I'm not trying to think about this over here and think about this over here, and also spend time with my kids, but I'm actually just like fully there experiencing my children. It's one of the greatest gifts that I can receive, and I think that that's the case for any role.
For me, with our business, it was like I had a startup suddenly. And there were so many new things to do. And I would just keep coming back to my quiet place to know like what was appropriate to do, what was the next thing to do. And we ended up getting a lot done that had been on my to-do list for 3 years that we never got to. And then a bunch of things that I never thought I'd need to do from a place of ease and enjoyment when I could quiet myself down, when I could quiet the intellect down.
Having empathy for others, I found is a big one with our clients. Some people, you know, found this time a really beautiful break from, they were on this fast pace that wasn't sustainable, and suddenly everything ground to a halt, and it gave them time to garden again, to hike again, to start a meditation practice. It was very freeing in a way and helped them really touch down with themselves. Other people went to the other complete direction and had no space for themselves. That suddenly they're trying to run a business from home, homeschooling their kids. So really having empathy as we adapt to new things, that everybody has unique challenges. And for some, it's been a lot more spaciousness. And for some people, it's been no spaciousness.
Thank you all very much. So this next one, there are unsettling events taking place in our world. And there's a lot of negative emotion, and it's showing up in a variety of ways. What suggestions do you have to help with these negative emotions? The sadness, the anger, the frustration, the loss of community? And how do you recommend that we mitigate the harm that these can cause?
There's so many ways we can bypass our feelings, whether it's through distraction or returning to work or getting on our little hamster wheel, or self-medicating, numbing ourselves from feelings. It takes bravery to sit with yourself and feel your feelings and fully step into them. But it's only when you do that you can connect what you're feeling with why you're feeling it.
People are always trying to have things very settled and very controlled. And what you're ultimately trying to do is control life. And life is not something that is controllable. It is constantly changing, and it's very dynamic. And so trying to control that is like trying to get the ocean to stop making waves, to be still. And I mean, imagine trying to do that, and the harder you try, the more it just keeps crashing on you.
I think reminding yourself this too shall pass in the face of overwhelming emotion. Emotions really only last for about 90 seconds, give or take. So when you are in the throes of an extreme overwhelming emotion of any kind, it's a good reminder that no matter how awful or how wonderful it is, it will pass.
Emotions are like the weather. Like Casey said, they're not going to last forever. So if you have hopeful thoughts, they're going to come through and you're going to have like a hopeful weather system. And then if you have upset thoughts, they're going to come through and you're going to experience an upset weather system. And if you have angry thoughts come in, you're having like an angry thought storm. And if you wait it out, weather's self-correcting. It's much like this little snow globe. So here we are, and here's our thoughts. And if we try and get in there when we're in our angry thought storm and we're trying to fix it, it's just like we're shaking this snow globe and we're shaking it and shaking it. How are we going to get the angry thoughts to go away? Well, if we just stop and take a break, the angry thoughts calm down and we get a little clarity.
When you can accept that life is change, and that it will always be changing, you can at the same time accept that you can absolutely control your reaction and your interaction with life. It's the equivalent of realizing that you can grab a surfboard and actually ride those waves and enjoy yourself. And you can sit with yourself and, why am I feeling angry? And you have an answer to that. Well, why is that the case? And why is that the case? And you can just go deeper and deeper until you really find out that you're having that emotion because you're afraid or you're trying to control something that can't be controlled. And then you can let it go. And with that comes peace and that sort of settling of that emotional storm, like Christina was talking about.
Well, that was fabulous. It's been my privilege to get to speak with you today. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your presence, your wisdom, and your hearts with us. Please stay well, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Reed, President and CEO of Summit State Bank. We've been open every day since the pandemic, and there's a lot of people contracting this disease, and we are trying to do our best to prevent that from happening to our employees and our customers. Our employees have come through with flying colors, but we recognize that it has put undue stress on them. That stress has resulted in both physical and emotional fatigue, and we're doing everything we can to help everyone through that process. We hope that you stay safe and are well and take care of yourself so that we can all get through this and find the other side of the pandemic.